Good afternoon, goddesses. How are you today? Let me just grab my microphone. And let's get started. I'm actually going to rely on this microphone today as the other one not doing its job. So, how is everyone? Now, today is October 16th. We've passed the halfway mark with our October Noonday messages, which are all delving into our shadows. And I've had a lot of feedback from this particular topic. And I'm glad that so many of you are being able to kind of open up into delving into your shadows and seeing what's there and really trying to integrate that shadow into your everyday life. So I thank you for that. Um, so let's get into it for today. Okay, hang on one second. Let me find my notes for today. And so the topic for today is reclaiming pleasure. If you're on my email list, you got a whole email about this yesterday, and the idea of being able to, as part of our reclamation process, being able to reclaim our ability to feel simple pleasures, to just enjoy a good meal, just to enjoy being out in nature, just to enjoy simple conversations or a good laugh with a good friend, as well as physical pleasure that we may or may not have allowed ourselves to feel um, in our everyday lives. We may have gotten to a certain point or a certain age where we feel like, that's behind us now, that we don't need to indulge such things, or that we are maybe incapable of, um, of physical or sensual or sexual pleasure going forward. And that couldn't be further from the truth. We all need to be able to open up to feeling pleasure and excitement and joy, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, um, and just being able to enjoy ourselves. So let's start today with our hands on our heart, our hands on our womb, and just take a few slow, deep breaths. And just affirm for yourself. Pleasure is my birthright and my power. Pleasure is my birthright and my power. Pleasure is my birthright and my power. Okay? And as I was saying before, many of us are taught to disconnect from pleasure, to associate it with guilt, sin, or self indulgence. But the shadow fears pleasure. The shadow that fears pleasure also blocks creativity, joy, and abundance. Pleasure is not frivolous, it's fuel for your divine feminine essence. When you honor pleasure, you awaken your Shakti, which is the creative life force that manifests beauty, art, and healing. Your sensuality is sacred and not shameful, regardless of what your age is. And I think sometimes we can experience this kind of shaming in a variety of ways. For example, when we're younger, we're expected to be pure. As women, we are supposed to be the ones who gatekeep the sensuality in our relationships, or the sexuality in our relationships. We're expected to be the one to say no, or to hold back, or to put things off, um, because that's just our conditioning, that we're supposed to be um, well, we used to be pure for marriage. We're not worried about that too much anymore, but we used to, but we still were concerned with a young lady's um, sexual history way more than we were concerned with young men, okay? And then there are other times when we feel like we have been over sexualized, especially in the media, and especially for women of color. We're almost always seen as, you know, the sex pod or um, the the loose woman or things like that. But by the same token, you also get that kind of uh, shaming of being too original or too repressed or restrained as well. So we get a lot of messages about what we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to be as women, what we're supposed to expect as um, pleasure, or what we're supposed to how we're supposed to restrain ourselves, or how we're supposed to loosen ourselves up in order to be acceptable at certain times. And it reminds me of that scene in the movie when Harry Met Sally, when they're in the deli, and he basically says to her that she could not fake an orgasm convincingly, and she basically does so with a sandwich. And he's kind of shocked that she could put on such a performance and it could be convincing. And there's a lady at another table, which is conveniently played by the director's mother, who says, "I'll have what she's having." So there are all kinds of messages in that scene right there. The fact that women are so conditioned to make sure that men have pleasure that you would fake your own pleasure just so that they think that they're very good, or they're you know, to enhance their feelings of prowess. But at the same time, we do crave our own actual pleasure. And again, it can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual, but we do naturally crave pleasure. That's part of who we are as women. So it's time to take the fake gloves off. And I think we as women have been doing this for quite a while now. And I think this is why we see the phenomenon of so many women being single as opposed to in relationships that are unsatisfying, is because we recognize that we don't have to be in a situation where our pleasure in the relationship is basically fake. We can be by ourselves and be happy. We can be in partnership with someone else and be happy. We can be, you know, in a committed marital relationship and be happy. But if we are faking it, if we're not giving our all, and if we're not believing that we deserve to be happy on all those levels, then many times we're not. Many times we're not, because let's face it, um, the partner that you have may not be as invested in making you happy as you are in making them happy. And I think we need to reverse that as women, to make sure that we're happy first and then worry about what the other person or persons that we know need to make them happy. Because if we're not happy, then we're just faking it through our lives. We're just faking it through those relationships. And neither partner really deserves that. We deserve to be in a partnership with somebody who truly loves us, who we truly feel for, and for whom we can really express ourselves and our desires and our pleasures and live a happy life. So let's take a moment to indulge in one act of conscious pleasure for yourself. And remember, we talked about all different kinds of pleasure, not just sexual, but how about sensually? Taking a nice, slow, warm bath with some scented oils in it, right? How about moving your body in a way that feels really good? Or eating something delicious, mindfully, not just, gobble it down, but something you truly enjoy to eat and taking it slow and savoring an experience. And as you do so, whisper to yourself, I am safe to receive joy. I am safe to receive joy. I am safe to receive joy. And then we'll have our final blessing, which is, Goddess, may pleasure awaken your power. May your joy ripple out and bless the world around you. Thank you for joining me today. Again, my name is Gisela. I am the Goddess Whisperer, whispering to the goddess inside you, hoping to have her come out and play and enjoy every aspect of her life. Thank you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.